as we go along. So I will share with you what have happened, or rather what progresses have been made by the companies in our ecosystem. And I selected the 9th-year plan because it gives us a good example of what we can achieve if things are done properly. Now we must know that, and we all should know that when we talk about projects that we fund, all of them are startups. Some startups will take 3 years before they can enter market. Some startups will take 6 years before they can enter market. Right? So, in the 9th plan, we funded. Sorry, I think I missed this. Okay, in the 9th plan, we disbursed about 200 odd million to about 140 companies, startup companies. Okay? But in 2010, and you must bear in mind that 9th plan is 2006 to 2010. Okay? So in 2010, some companies may have just got the fund that they are not selling yet. But in 2010, when we do a survey, we found out that the companies that we have given money have actually sold collectively about $1 billion worth of product. They have actually matched the government funding 221 million here with 418 million of their own fundraising. Meaning that the fund that the government gave gave them an impetus to go and raise more fund from the market. It could be from the 3F, as you all know, right? Friends, others, and the fools that believe in them, right? It could be from the banks, it could be from venture capital. But what we want to see here is that it is 1 to 2, meaning that there are appetite to support high risk commercialization activity in this country. Despite what has been said in the press, in public, these numbers do not lie. It shows that there is an appetite, there is a possibility, and there is support for early stage projects to be funded by other forms of financing besides government grant. 1 to 2, which is actually, to me, very impressive. And they have done IPs and jobs created. And this is what I have always said, and we always emphasize for our companies, we must go global. But bear in mind what Mr. Heng has said, before you go, make sure you are best of class. And to have best of class, companies must leverage on what we have in the domestic scenario. If we can create collaboration with centers, either in universities, either in research institute, we should create that collaboration. Because not everything can be done in-house. And this is the role of people like organizations like us, MTDC, like MEFCAT, like the others, where we would like to get our companies to go and utilize and leverage the expertise available in the local universities. Our main problem, and this is my pet unhappiness with the issue, is that sometimes the media and the public focus too much until it becomes extreme on the issues of quality of local graduates, that they forget that because of the bad press, not just the local graduates are not respected, the universities are not respected, the research also are not respected. Whereas actually, by looking at this, I can safely say that it shows Malaysian companies, Malaysian technologies, either it is from local universities, either it is from research institute, either it is from their own research lab, they are able to go out and export. Once you go out and export, it means that you are, if not best in class, you are comparable to the class. Because if you are not good enough, people will not import. So I use this slide to share with our companies, to share with our policymakers, to impress this point to the public that please bear in mind that while we may not be the leading country in terms of overall technology development, but in certain sectors of the industry, in rubber, in oil palm, in certain segment of certain technologies, we are the technology leaders. What is needed is a group of driven, hungry people with stamina, a group of entrepreneurs with vision to take this technology, bring it to the market, and go and conquer the world. So, this is our startup companies where they are now exporting. Malaysian based, like what Mr. Heng says. And I will fully agree that if any of the companies in this room who are funded by us, you start talking about FDI, I will go and knock on your door. Not yet. We will develop our strength locally. We will export from Malaysia. When you are ready, then you can go and set up operation overseas. Right? But this slide tells a lot of stories. It tells the stories of technology moving from the lab to the market. It tells the stories that actually it is feasible to do commercialization of public sector research. It tells the story that there are entrepreneurs in Malaysia who is willing to take the long view. It tells the story of entrepreneurs who are willing to take the risks. It tells the story that together with entrepreneurs, there are other people who are willing to fund them as well. Right? So it is very, very difficult under an environment where people tend to skew their point of view that, we start having negative views about our local universities. We start having negative views about our capability of our research institute. But here we are, companies who are working with them are going overseas. I will share with you later one company that worked with UTM and currently now having their clients in Saudi Arabia, the Schlumberger of this world, the Halliburton of this world, local technology. And we also have the Technology Acquisition Fund, and we're going to skip this. So let's go and just look at a few of examples that have actually grown with the ecosystem. Okay? Now, this company, of course, I have talked about this company a lot, and I have some vested interest because I'm the founding director as well. So please forgive me for this. But the name of the entrepreneur is Hayati, not Hayati. In 1994, she came to MTDC to apply for a job, and I gave her the job of a writer, because then MTDC has an MTDC bulletin. So I said, Hayati, she joined MTDC as a writer, but she has a double degree in biotech and psychology. In 1996, when we were looking at research in universities, we found out that there was this project in then University Pertanian doing work on mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza is a fungus that grows naturally, that basically improve the whole fertilizer regime when you put it inside into the soil. So in 1996, we formed a company, gave her 150,000 ringgit. 150,000 ringgit. And she resigned from MTDC and started the company. Now, this seems like, it's nothing, but it's actually very important. Because for you to resign from a GLC and join a company, which you do not know whether you're going to be successful or not, is a leap of faith. You really have to believe in what you are doing. And she resigned and joined the company and became a board member, as well as I joined and became a board member. And she spent 5-6 years doing the technology development work and maxing out on all her credit cards. And these are the things that sometimes we lose we do not see when we talk about success. Because the problem is that when we see successful people, we only see the success story. We do not see the pain, the tears, the sweat that they have undergone to create this company. Now, so Hayati, we gave her 150,000, and then we gave her another 700,000 in 1999 to do commercialization. Now, this year she is doing, I think, north of 50, 60 million. And next year, we are quite confident we're going to do 100 million. Okay? And in terms of award, she has received a lot of award. In terms of recognition, what I like to quote most is that last year, a small Malaysian company from using Malaysian technology signed an agreement with Gazprom. Do you know Gazprom? Gazprom is the largest energy company in the world. Do you see the significance there? If Malaysian technology is not good, if the company cannot deliver, if they are not in a position to meet their obligation, people like Gazprom is not going to sign with them. People like Gazprom is not going to sign with companies that cannot deliver on what they promise. But they signed with Gazprom based on technology which was initiated in a university lab. They signed with Gazprom based on technology which they developed in-house. And they signed with Gazprom based on the strength of their technology. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is that we have technology development capabilities. We have it, but it is like, when you are there, people don't feel you. When you are not there, they miss you. Right? I'm not too clever about this now since I'm rather old. Maybe 20 years ago I could talk about this more better. Yeah? But the thing is that there are technologies available in the market. Malaysian technologies. But why are we not utilizing it? Right? So this is a very good example of, hey, look, if the Malaysian universities are not as good as what you have made it up to be, we are not going to have this kind of companies. We are not going to have this kind of companies. Right? And if the Malaysian entrepreneurs are as bad as what it is made out to be, we are not going to have this kind of entrepreneurs. Okay? But it is a long haul. Now it's 2012. It was 1996. It is 16 years. And the first 10 years, she basically paid her clerks first before paying her salary. Right? She made sure she paid everybody else before she paid her salary. And these are the things, the quality of entrepreneurship that we require to develop technology in this country. We need to develop and to highlight people like this who can be icons. As a successful example of commercialization of public sector research, as an icon to emulate, as an entrepreneur who has the long-term view and willing to swear it out to achieve the vision. And to forget all this talk about shortcut, low-hanging fruits, magic formula, snake oil peddlers, all of them. Okay? Because commercialization is complex, we need to take a long view. Now, the other thing that I want to say here is that this company reached their level of technical development by leveraging on the local strength. Okay? She works with UPM, UKM, MPOB, UITM, or you name it. Because startups do not have the financial capability to do everything in-house. Startups do not have the human resource to do everything in-house. Startups do not have the expertise to do everything in-house. We must work together in the ecosystem so that we leverage on what other people have. Even the Google of this world do not have everything in-house. They go and acquire companies. Even the Apple of this world do not do everything in-house. This concept of everything must be invited here is an old, outdated concept. We must be innovative enough to look at where are the opportunities for us to acquire technology best in class. But we need to swear it out. Because to transfer technology from the lab to the market is a huge challenge. There are many challenges associated with it. Okay? And this is the other thing that we now are trying to to get our companies to do. Go and network internally as well as internationally. That is why I pushed for this collaboration with Egypt and Sri Lanka and later others to come, because our companies must go out. We must go out not to go and invest blindly, but we must go out, create networks, leverage, so that 1 + 1 is 3, which is feasible in physics. Right? So, and the other thing that I must say here, because I can see a lot of ladies here, Hayati's company, 75% of the shareholders are ladies, only one man. Okay? And that's also an achievement. Okay? So, and the other company that I want to show here or share with you as well is this company, Bispan. They are in telemetry. They are now in China, they are now in Indonesia, they are now in the Middle East. In the Middle East, their clients are among them Halliburton. Halliburton will not buy technology if your technology is not good. They will be the last person to procure a service from you if you are not good. But here we have a company first developed technology in-house, later Stephen, his name, collaborated with UTM, Professor Tariq, and even started his PhD with Professor Tariq on the field, in the field. But entrepreneur doing PhD is even huge challenge than entrepreneur trying to do 100 million. So I don't think he has finished his PhD. But what I'm trying to say here is that you have technology development capability which the Halliburtons of this world will buy. So we should ask ourselves, what is the problem of selling technology to Malaysians? And this is also my pet issue with the government policymakers. We have Malaysian buy Malaysian, but usually it's very tough to go and sell in the Malaysian market. But it does not matter. If you're best in class, you can't sell in Malaysia, you can still sell in other parts of the world. We have one company who has never set foot in Malaysia. It's a Malaysian company. We gave him money. He went to Bali, formed the company, and never come back. He's not here today. Now, if you see him, he is the only Kelantanese that I have ever met in my whole life that can speak Indonesian without a Kelantan accent. Right? You know Kelantanese? Talk about you go to the forest. So, but this is a Kelantanese that can speak absolutely perfect Indonesian. He's based in Bali. One of these days we'll share his story with you. So, for Stephen, he started a project here, telemetry, but did not expand. Went to Jakarta, worked with the company there. It was number 6 in terms of transportation services. It went to number 2 using Stephen's technology, among others, and went for listing this year, the Indonesian company. Can you see the validation of the Malaysian expertise there? Can we appreciate that here we have a technology that was developed in Malaysia? Sometimes the profit is not recognized at home, right? Went to Indonesia and sell it and develop it. This is where the innovativeness of the entrepreneur, the strength of conviction for us to go and cross the border and do it business elsewhere, right? That is why I always feel very hurt when people say, you can see what's this unemployed graduate program. Yeah? No, we do not do unemployed graduate program. We want entrepreneurs who can see far ahead, who can take up the challenges. If you do not want me here, I will sell it elsewhere. Because we believe in the technology. And in the case of Stephen, he is now in Indonesia, in Middle East, and in China. Okay? Last year he was doing 32 million. Next year, I'm very sure he's going to do 100 million. Right? So he's in Pakistan, South Africa, Indonesia. You look at the countries that he's operating in, it is very, very easy to draw the inference that this technology must be best in class. Because if you're not best in class, you cannot go to all these countries. Middle Eastern countries, Abu Dhabi, Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, they always buy technology from the US or from Europe. If they are willing to buy technology from Malaysia, you have to be best in class. You have to be. Okay? You have patents and what have you. And the final example I want to show here is another example of people willing to take the risk. This guy, his name is Lim Lee Wan. He was with Shell Singapore. Cozy job. Shell Singapore pays, even if it's same numbers, let's say $10,000, here 10,000 ringgit, it's already triple the salary. He resigned from the job in Singapore, came back to Malaysia, set up a company. Why? Because, you know, the mad cow disease, in the 90s there was the mad cow disease. I mean, there was a name, some Czech's name, I can't pronounce it anyway, but it's mad cow disease. And it was attributed to their bone, animal bone. So he saw an opportunity that, look, there is an opportunity to go into an area where we can produce phosphate not utilizing animal bones. There is market in the Islamic country when we do this halal product. There is market where these medical issues are resolved. So he came back. So we gave him a small money, 1.8 million, to do work with UPM, to do trials, University Pertanian Malaysia there, to see whether it is feasible to do. Okay? And this year he was doing about 50 million. But we are now working on a $1 billion project in Kuching. And I brought this company, we went together to Saudi, and we were selected, we were to be one of the project owner that will develop the Saudi phosphate reserves. Okay? And when I went to Dammam, I met the mayor, and I said, Mr. Mayor, sir, can I ask you a question? Can you say this is true? No? Can I say that this is the first time you are buying technology from a non-Western country? This is in Saudi Arabia. Yeah? And he said yes. And this is where, when we launched the BSF and the PM came, and we visited the booth, I told the PM, I do not know for other things, but as far as for the Saudis to agree to acquire this technology for the development of their phosphate reserves is actually a very, very strong acknowledgement of the capability of Malaysian technology entrepreneurs. Right? So I will just then, luckily I look at the watch, I know I will go until 2 o'clock. Right? So as we go along, you know, the Malaysian ecosystem has developed a lot. In fact, actually 20 years ago and 20 years, and now I think we more or less have developed an ecosystem which makes it easier for entrepreneurs not just to form a company like what Mr. Heng has said, because the challenge is not forming companies. Any one of us in this room can form companies. 2 ringgit will cost us 1,500 ringgit, we have a startup with 2 ringgit per hour. The challenge is to scale it up. And to scale it up, we need to have technology capacity, we need to have financial instruments, we need to have, most of all, the quality of entrepreneurs that can drive the vision forward. And that is why we are depending on our pool of companies, 500 of them, to be the role model for the rest of Malaysian citizens, to show that you can get rich, you can be successful by commercializing research. Do not believe in all the magic formula. You read in the newspaper, everything Malaysians fall for this magic formula, magic stones, magic this, magic MLM, and all kind of things. Okay? So the most important lesson, I'm going to stop here. The most important lessons that I have learned is we have a common objective, and we have to be honestly working together. Honestly working together. We must be honest in working together. We must be honest in working together. This is the mantra that I think we have to believe in, we have to reflect it in our life. If you want to develop Malaysian economy, we must be working together. If you want to develop Malaysian universities, we must be working together. If you want to develop nation, we must be working together. We must not have, and I like this because I like Lord of the Rings. Because I read Lord of the Rings when I was in Form 1 or 2 some 30 odd years ago. We must not have this syndrome of one rings that rule them all. Okay? If you're a university, I'm the only one. This is a problem because if you talk about universities' research results, sometimes you need to cobble up to get a few from several universities from one company. But if you have the Lord of the Rings syndrome, no. I want one company for me, one company for them. So you have one company commercializing one product from one university. You have another company commercializing one product in the same field from another university. So at the end of the day, you have many companies, but no successful companies. So we need to go and really work honestly together, and we need to go and flesh out, cut out, and remove this Lord Sauron, Lord of the Rings syndrome. If not, some of you will be the three elves, kings. Some of you will be the 7 dwarfs, and many of you will be the 9 men who died and rode those horses. Okay? So, thank you very much for listening to me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.